Yo, what is going on, my friends? It's your boy JDUN Trades with Team Bull Trading, and I hope you all had a blessed and discipline-filled trading day. We are live and back in action with yet another valuable video where I break down the exact trades that I took, where I think the market's heading, and not just myself, but Brandon Trades, fellow millionaire Team Bull trader, and the Swing King himself joins us for a trade recap to break down how he made over 2K and give you guys a ton of value and education. These trade recaps are valuable, they're real, not hindsight, and we love helping you guys learn. So tap in, hit that subscribe button, and let's learn and level up together. All right, like I told you before, we have a ton of education and value incoming in this video. But before we get started, let's give a warm welcome to fellow millionaire trader, the Swing King himself, Brandon Trades. How we doing today?
Good, brother. How about yourself?
Doing all right, man. You know, $500 in the day. Not going to buy the yacht, but you know what? Consistently done adds up over time. So I'm chilling. How was your trading day?
Good. A little over 2K on the day. We'll talk
Damn, my
about that
boy.
video.
Dinner's on you.
Yeah.
Coming down to Denver. Cool. So, to start off this trade recap, I want to go ahead and say that this was not a big trade. I typically don't trade Mondays. My stats tell me that I statistically do not trade as well on Mondays versus Tuesday through Friday. But I saw a decent setup. I was a little late to react and ended up paying me decently trading options on SPY, or if you were trading futures, would have been ES inside Team Bull. Now, what I saw, every single day, I typically wait the first 15 minutes to trade. So what do? I mark out my first 15-minute high and my first 15-minute low. So we see that here. Now, why this is important is because typically speaking, when you get a 5-minute close over the first 15-minute high or low, if you're trading the downside, that will set the trend for the day. Now, after today's close, I saw this up here. On this move back down, I didn't like what I was seeing. I didn't like how on this move down, we had aggressive selling, right? I didn't like to see this at all. So I was wanting to wait for a second candle of volume confirmation. My volume was not confirming for me in these two candles with lowering volume here, but price moving up. I wasn't buying it at the time. So I waited. However, when I saw this aggressive selling, these reversal candles with strong volume here happening, I started to get a short bias that we would fail this 15-minute high and move back down to our 15-minute lows. So for me, I see price confirming. We're making lower highs on this aggressive candle down. This is where I try my short position on options. I'd buy SPY puts, and I'm hoping to retarget this low of day. Well, we started to get this move down. I take a trim, half my contracts down here. They moved like 10, 15% or something, somewhere in there. Nothing crazy, might add. Nothing crazy. I see price start to rebound a little bit, and I decide that based on this lack of action, I just don't like the setup. I know it's Monday. I know I'm up. I have a decent position, and I'm like, you know what? I'll sell the rest in the move down. I don't care if I miss the move to low a day because it's Monday. I'm green for the day. That beats my stats, and that puts me in the green versus what my stats say is typically I lose money more than I make money trading Mondays. So we're trying to change the tide there. So for me, I missed out on a potentially bigger setup, though, looking forward here. And there's something to learn in this setup, right? We see this 15-minute high, 15-minute low. What do we notice about this? We have an aggressive buying candle here, right? We see this aggressive buying candle, right? We have this area of impulse here. We make this fair value gap right here. Some of you call it. I call it an area of confluence, right? With the aggressive buying volume here, unfilled orders in here. We move back down into here right on the 15-minute high, and that makes our low for this period, and we move on up. Whenever we have an impulse candle matched up with a pre-market high, pre-market low, 15-minute high, 15-minute low, this is always something I want to watch for an entry. Now, for me, I had a bunch of meetings. Mondays are admin day for me, so I missed this setup. But this is an A+ setup for me, seeing this 15-minute high get touched inside an impulse candle with stops likely either A, if you entered up here, giving it a little time to recover, below this, or if you have a little more risk, you'd enter or you'd keep your stops below this impulse candle or a 5-minute close down here below the 15-minute range, and you shoot for high of day and beyond, giving you a solid R multiple. And if you followed this, right, you caught a nice trade to the upside. So for me, that's what I missed out on. And as far as where I think the market's going before we hand this over to Brandon, I think that I believe we have tariff news coming on the 2nd, so Wednesday. Market structure is still downward, right? You can see that from the hourly, you can see it from the 4 hour. So I'll still be looking, right? Obviously, what's happening intraday determines my bias most, but I'll still be looking for downside. Potentially, this is the pop up here for a lower high and the more macros, and then a continued move down. But again, we'll just have to see where we keep closing on the daily charts, the weekly charts, and I'm not going to let daily bias dictate my day trading intraday. So that being said, let's hand this over to Brando to hear how you caught the top, I believe, on NQ, how you made over 2K, and what your day looked like.
Do it. All right. So ended up taking 3 trades today. Ended up actually taking a pretty nice bounce, like 10 minutes into market open. This one was based off of an SPX level. So when trading, I do really like to watch SPX psychological levels, 5,600, 5,500, 5,400, etc. So I saw with this gap down today that we were gapping down right into that 5,500 level. So as soon as SPX came down to it and I saw this tiny reaction, I ended up taking some MES long just because the risk was so small that if we just broke below 5,500, I would get out of the trade. Now, unfortunately, it was just a beginner position just because I wanted to add more if we actually like came down and hit it. Also, the spreads were kind of wide. So that's why I just did a small position. Ended up capturing like a 7 to 8 point move before I took my first trim, but my stop loss at break even, I believe they moved about like 12 points on MES before it came back down and hit my break even stop on this trade. So like this is the move that we caught to the upside right there. Nothing crazy, a little bit of lunch money to start the day. But a little later in the day, when I was watching, because my overall bias was still, pretty bearish, what I was watching on NQ was if we could come down, just go ahead and delete all this, and break below the pre-market low, I wanted to see price come back up and retest it for a potential short. So you can see first 5 minutes of market open, we just completely destroy this pre-market low. And as we come back up right here, I try my shorts on NQ. Now, unfortunately, on this trade, I had to stop out just because we started to invalidate the setup. But just because you stop out of a trade does not mean that you can't get back in. Sometimes we can have the right idea, just the overall wrong timing. So I ended up stopping out of this NQ. But as we continued to pop up a little higher, what I started to notice was that we had decreasing 5-minute volume on the NQ right here. Now, as we continued to go a little higher, right into the VWAP, through reading order flow, I started to notice that we had a lot of sellers up in this overall area. And again, I started to see that we had decreasing volume going up. Now, because my overall bias was still to the downside on the day, we had the large sell orders up here, the decreasing volume. I got back into this NQ trade with a stop right above the VWAP. I was able to capture a beautiful point or a beautiful move to the downside. We actually ended up getting 2 entries on this, but from the second entry, these moved about 70 points. So beautiful trade to the downside. And I shit you not, we like sold pretty much the bottom on this candle right here. So beautiful day.
You killed
Green,
it, man.
red, back to green.
Nothing better than that, bro.
Yes, sir.
Kept the psychology straight, kept your head on the swivel, and it paid off per usual.
That's right.
Where do you think the market's heading? Where are we going?
I honestly think that there's a good chance. I mean, that's a pretty bullish daily candle on NQ, but I think as far as the ES, there's a good chance that we are going to trade back up into these supply zones that we have up here. So I'm going to take this off. As far as rejects, I'm personally going to watch this level at 57.20 and then like this 57.35 level right here, 57.37. Do think there's a good chance that we get up into there. Again, we did have a lot of volume come in today, so I would like to see us pop up. After that, I'll watch this supply zone up here.
Beautiful.
And then obviously if we take it out, I mean, our next low is all the way down here.
I'd love to see those lows get tested again, man.
Yeah,
Give us good opportunities on the way back up and make a ton of money on the way down.
exactly.
Sweet. Well, that is another beautiful session wrapped up of daily education brought to you by Brandon, myself, and the rest of Team Bull. We trade live every single day and have a ton to offer here on social media. His YouTube is linked below. Obviously, you guys know to hit that subscribe button here. Until next time, I'll see you tomorrow on Team Bull. Brando Commando.
Peace.
Peace.